What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube and Rumble subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at again with another New York Giants update video. And man, oh man, it has started. It has begun. The first cuts of the offseason, they are here. And they are not guys that we should be surprised by, as the video title states. As a lot of you probably already saw by the time this video comes out, Kyle Rudolph, the first casualty of the New York Giants offseason, has officially been released, and then just about an hour later, Devontae Booker. Now, as we all know, the Giants are around $12 million under the cap space, and before March 16th, the beginning of the new league year, they need to get, over or, at the cap space. We cannot be under it when the league year begins, so they have to make cuts, they have to make moves in order to get under. And with these two moves right here, we already shave a good amount of that off, and we're now just around 6.26 million under the cap instead of that 12 or 13 million that we were just previously. Now, of course, I already made a couple videos about guys that we can cut. There are other guys out there that are like big cap candidates. We've talked about Bradbury, we've talked about Martinez ad nauseum, but a little bit of guys that are kind of on smaller contracts, I guess, to keep in mind. I've been saying for a while now, Darius Slayton could be a surprise cut, maybe even somebody like Julian Love. But outside the surprise cut, somebody that definitely I'm surprised hasn't been cut already. I thought he would have been the first guy out of here, Riley Dixon, our punter, because I like Riley Dixon. I really do. I think that he's a good punter. I think that when he is good, he's one of the best in the league. But that's the problem, right? He is kind of inconsistent, especially this past year. And for a punter, at least for his position, he's earning a lot of money. And if we were to cut Riley Dixon, I think that takes off about 2.8 million off of the salary cap. But before we get into any of that, or in fact, this video is not even to get into any of that, is just to talk about these moves that the Giants made. This is by Matt Lombardo from Fansided, GManHQ.com. Let me read to you a brief article he had out on it. The New York Giants released tight end Kyle Rudolph and running back Devontae Booker Wednesday in a pair of moves to create cap space. New York Giants general manager Joe Schoen has gotten down to work trimming payroll. Sources confirmed to Fansided Wednesday that the Giants have released veteran tight end Kyle Rudolph and running back Devontae Booker. Both players were prime candidates to be cap casualties for an organization that entered the day approximately $12 million over the cap for the 2022 season, due in large part to former general manager Dave Gettleman's reckless spending spree last offseason. Unlike Gettleman, it appears that Schoen has a system for positional value in free agency in the NFL draft. Where the New York Giants salary cap situation stands as of Wednesday's moves. Moving on from Booker and Rudolph on Wednesday created approximately $7 million in new cap space, while triggering a $3.4 million dead money charge. Following Wednesday's move, the New York Giants are now approximately $6.26 million over the cap. Shown in the New York Giants must get below the salary cap before the new league year begins in March 16th. Booker arrived in East Rutherford last spring after signing a 2-year deal worth $5.5 million. In his lone season with the New York Giants, Booker averaged 4.1 yards per carry and tied Saquon Barkley for the team lead in rushing yards. Now let's talk about what these moves imply for those two positions specifically, because as of right now, I think the only tight end that we have on contract on the team would be Levine Toilolo. Don't quote me on that. Even if it is Levine Toilolo, we don't have a starting tight end on the team right now because Evan Ingram, his contract was up, his 5th-year option was up. He is a free agent. He's a unrestricted free agent. I'm 99% sure on that. And I do not personally want Evan Ingram back. I'd be surprised if there are Giants fans that wants Evan Ingram back. I don't know if Evan Ingram wants to come back. I've always said for like the past 2 or 3 years now, just throughout all of his inconsistencies, that maybe he just needs a change of scenery and needs to go to a new team where he could succeed. That's just been a thought of mine for a while. So that kind of puts us in a pickle with the tight end situation because we don't have a starting tight end. And if we do have a backup, it's not like the best backup in the league. It's not a backup that you really want out there. Like Levine Toilolo is strictly like a dude you'd have out there in big personnel packages to block, really, if I'm being honest with you. So what does that do? I mean, where does that leave us? NFL draft, where we've already been targeting tight end, at least as Giants fans. I know I've been targeting tight end in the NFL draft, and also NFL free agency. There's a couple guys out there that you don't have to break the bank to spend money on. You're definitely going to be taking a chance on them, but they're kind of guys that are in a similar situation to Evan Ingram. You talk about David Njoku from the Browns. Similar situation to Evan Ingram, right? Somebody that was supposed to be way better than they actually turned out to be, and a team is taking a chance on him. I believe the same can be said for OJ Howard from the Buccaneers. So if we're kind of in that position, then the question does come back, why not just re-sign Ingram if he knows the organization and whatnot? But we'll see where the Giants go in terms of the tight end situation after March 16, because that's after the cap space is set and whatnot, and the combine is going to be over, and we're getting a little bit more of an idea of where a lot of these prospects are going. And in terms of the running back position, now we have two of them on the roster. Gary Brightwell, the 6th-round pick from last year that got used like basically 0 times in the offense, which is man, that was a mistake. I don't know why the coaching staff last year didn't even want this man out there to run the football. Anyway, and I've heard nothing about him this offseason. Not that we're supposed to, he's a second-year player. He was a 6th-round pick. You're not going to hear much about him. And then Saquon Barkley, there has been just copious amounts of trade rumors, copious amounts of get him off the Giants. Oh no, let him stay on the Giants. We all know the deal with Saquon Barkley. In fact, there was a tweet today about Saquon from Jordan Schultz. He's an NFL insider. Kind of I'd say definitely a reputable guy. I don't know if a lot of you know him. This is what he had to say on the Saquon Barkley situation with the Giants. He said he spoke with 2 teams, both of whom told me that the Giants' potential asking price of Barkley was very significant. One assistant GM also said, I don't get the sense they actually want to trade him. To me, this is just postering. But Joe Shane would want a first, or a 1. You guys know how I feel about Barkley. I mean, I'm wearing my Saquon Barkley t-shirt right now. And this is biased completely. It's not necessarily logical, but I would want him to stay and just have a chance behind what is supposed to be a better O-line and a chance under a good offensive coaching staff for the first time since 2018. I would want to see how he does in that. And also with no turf, with grass. Please tell me the NFL is going to get grass in there. It's either this season or next season. If it's next season, then I guess that point is not standing. But if it's this season, listen, a lot of his and a lot of majority of the NFL's players got injured because of this turf situation and not necessarily because of them getting into freak accidents. And we saw that for sure with Barkley. None of his injuries were because some sort of freak collision, super big collision. I mean, the Cowboys one was literally because he stepped on somebody's foot, twisted his ankle, and then it was just over. Like, you guys get the point that I'm trying to make. But if that's the case, we don't need to find a replacement running back as of right now. We probably do need an upgrade in the backup running back situation. And somebody that could potentially start in years future if Saquon doesn't work out this year. You guys already know a couple names that I've given to you, being Jerome Ford, Hassan Haskins, Mr. James Cook, Dameon Pierce out of Florida. There's a good amount of those type of guys, those type of halfbacks in the rounds 4, 5, and 6 area of the NFL draft. And if you look at free agency, I personally haven't looked at free agency yet. I just think go ahead and get them in the draft. It's been the winning recipe for getting a running back in the past basically 10 years or 10, 15, maybe even 20 years in the NFL. I think that's the way they should go. But moves are starting to be made. Combine officially, the combine drills and whatnot are going to be here in a couple days. It's going to be a very exciting time in the offseason. You guys let me know what you think. Put your thoughts and comments down below. Who do you want or who do you think should be the next player to be gone from the Giants to help us with this cap situation? And what are we doing with the tight end position? That's it for now. I'm out. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thank you for checking out my channel, The Hub, here on Giants YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you hear every time I put out a video. Like it, share, and subscribe, and I'm out.